What if I told you that the habits making or breaking your wealth aren't the big things? That's right. It's not about the big things that you're doing that's making or breaking it. They're the small things you do every morning. But the truth is, wealth showed up when I started to restructure my mornings. That's right. The things I did first thing in the morning. And it wasn't some massive big changes right away, and I didn't have to change my whole life. It was the simple, consistent habits that turned chaos into clarity, and that clarity turned into money, financial opportunities, and more freedom in my life. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 6 morning practices that completely changed the way my life is right now. These aren't just fluffy, feel-good habits, something that is just kind of woo-woo stuff. These are real wealth-building habits. And if you commit to them, they'll start to compound for you into results that feel almost illegal in how powerful they actually are. Now, it doesn't mean everything's going to happen right away, but when you start doing them consistently right away, things are starting to flow over time. Now, the first lesson, it's a big one, but it's a small change that just takes a couple of minutes in the morning that could transform your life. And you might be thinking to yourself, Lewis, I don't know, can something I do that takes a couple minutes really transform my life? Yes, I'm going to share a personal example of myself and even back it by some of the most inspiring people in the world. And the first lesson is the power of small wins, and that means making your bed, because making your bed equals making money. Now you might be saying, Lewis, how is this even possible? Making my bed, what? Are you my mom telling me to wake up and clean my room and make my bed? No, I'm not your mom, but I am here to remind you of what is possible when you create more structure in your space. Your future isn't shaped by one big decision. It's shaped by the small wins you repeat daily. The world's greatest athletes, the world's greatest compounding wealth experts, they all know it's the daily little actions that compound over time. Start your day with a small win to signal order, control, and accomplishment. This habit compounds into financial and life success. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. This is a quote by Admiral William H. McRaven. And here's a video I'm going to share with you right now who talks about the importance of making your bed. Not just your mom telling you to do this when you're a teenager and that you're a messy human being, but this is what they do in the military as well. So watch this short clip and I'll share with you more in a second.
So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
So I love this video because, again, this is stuff that our mom used to tell us, our dad used to tell us growing up, is like, clean your room, make your bed. It's going to help you in your life. And you're just like, shut up. I want to do whatever I want to do. I want to be messy. I want to throw my clothes around. I just want to wake up and roll out of bed, right? But this is from U.S. Navy Admiral who talks about not only the importance of this, but the science of doing small things well every single day and how it will help you create bigger opportunities in your life. So again, this just isn't your mom or your dad telling you what to do. Clean your room. And I resisted this when I was younger. I also went to a private boarding school when I was 13 all the way till 18. And we used to have, they used to score us every morning. We had to wake up early. We had to make our bed. Our room had to be clean. We had to do all these different tasks early in the morning. And I used to resist these things. I did not like structure. I did not like order. I did not like authority figures, all these different things. And I'm assuming you might be similar to me. We want to resist the things that are hard. We want to resist the things that are not effortless and easy. We want to just push back on people telling us what to do. But as I got older, I remember after college, once I kind of got out of the grading system of my bedroom when I was in high school in this boarding school. I became very sloppy, like in college and in my early 20s. I became very sloppy. I didn't make my bed. I would just kind of wait until the last minute to do stuff. I'd leave clothes out. I was just sloppy. And it showed up in my life. My health started to get sloppy. I started to gain weight. I started to eat sloppy foods. I wasn't being intentional with my life. And the little thing of just cleaning my room in the morning and making my bed started to change for me. In my late 20s, I started to bring back that habit, that routine. And I remember I was just like, okay, I'm going to change things up. I'm not getting the results I want in my life because I'm living a messy life. Literally, my physical space was messy. How can I create abundance and freedom when I'm in chaos in my own living space? And so I just started to make that change, and I just started to make my bed. I didn't clean my whole room every day and scrub the floors or anything like that. I just started making the bed. And I started to feel this sense of accomplishment when I would do that. I started to feel a sense of pride. And when I come back home at night and I'd go to bed, I was like, man, there's a nice, comfortable bed that's ready for me to take the covers out, get into bed. And I felt this sense of like a closed loop accomplishment. I did something for 2 minutes in the morning. It created a sense of peace and order. And at night, when I was ready to rest, I wasn't going into a messy space. And that made me feel a sense of like, you did something good today. And that compounds day after day. And it starts seeping into other areas of your life. You start taking better care of your health. You start taking better care of your relationships. You start being in order in other areas of your life. And the old saying is, how you do anything is how you do everything. And that is true in a lot of ways. So you just need to be thinking about, am I making my bed? Am I doing that little thing in the morning that can help set me up for the whole day and help me just feel a sense of accomplishment and pride? Again, when I was overwhelmed, things would get chaotic. I resisted against doing that extra 2 minutes of work to create order and space. And if you can relate to this, or if you've ever been sloppy with your bed or your clothes or just throwing things around in your room because you feel overwhelmed, you've got responsibilities, you've got to wake up early, you've got work, you've got kids, you've got family, you've got bills. It can feel overwhelming. I get it. But we've got to learn to take a couple of minutes for personal pride, for personal space, for structure and order. Otherwise, we won't have any structure or order in our life and we'll always feel overwhelmed. This is something we got to be thinking about, really thinking about keeping a clean space in your life if you want to create more financial opportunities. Simply just making my bed transformed how I do things. And again, it's not just me speaking this. Navy admirals, Navy SEALs, top performers, they all talk about this as well, okay? That one act can help you get in control more, feel a little bit more disciplined, and hopefully that will influence you in your finances, in your mindset as well. So a couple action steps for you. Tomorrow, the first thing I want you to do is to make your bed before you touch your phone. Make your bed. It doesn't even have to look perfect. I'm not telling you to freaking iron the sheets and have everything like perfectly ready to go. Like, just put the sheets back over and put the pillows on top of the sheets and let it look presentable. Just do that one step before you touch your phone, before you get on social media, before you check your emails. And as you soothe out the sheets a little bit, as you smooth them out a little bit and just put it down, say to yourself, I create order. And because I create order, I create wealth. I create order. And because I create order, I create wealth. Just do that for 2 minutes and see what starts to open up in your mind. Again, because taking this physical act starts to signal and restructure your thoughts and saying, oh, I can do something that I'm resisting. And look at the space that I've created. Because I've created this cleaner space, I have cleanliness in my thoughts. I can see clearer opportunities that come my way, whether I should say yes or no to them. I have a clearer mind. I set clearer intentions because I create a cleaner space for myself. When you do that, you're signaling something differently in the world. You're having more personal pride. You're creating boundaries in your personal life. And let that momentum carry into your first decision for the day, the first call, the first meeting, the first project. Start from clarity, not from chaos. And you might be thinking, wow, does this even really matter? Like, do I really need to do this stuff? Listen, you can do whatever you want, but you're here to create more peace, more order, more harmony, and more abundance in your life. That's why you're watching this right now. That's why you're listening to this. It's because you want to create more of that. And when you have clutter in the mind, you have clutter in the body and in your nervous system. And when you have a lack of peace and harmony in your nervous system, in your heart, in your thoughts, your body feels more stress. You have more cortisol. You're more heightened energy versus calm energy. And you want to make sure you are creating from a space of peace, of clarity, of clear intention, not chaos. Because then you'll always feel overwhelmed, overworked, and that is not abundance. That is scarcity. That is survival mode. So, lesson number 1, the power of small wins. Make your bed first thing in the morning. And again, we could get off track easily and fall back into autopilot of being messy and rushing to wake up because you're tired and saying, oh, I'll get to it later. I've got to get to this meeting. I've got to do this thing. Find the time. Wake up a little bit earlier if you need to. Make your bed. Create some peace in your life so you can sleep with peace as well. That's lesson number 1. If this is resonating so far, again, leave a yes below in the comments and let me know. Lesson number 2, energy creates wealth. Exercise equals flow of money. Now, let me dive into this a little bit more. Chasing money while neglecting your health makes you broke twice. Once in your body and again in your bank account. Now, your body is your ultimate wealth engine. It fuels you. Literally, if you have lower energy in your body, if you have lower energy in the way you think, you're not going to be able to take on life's challenges. You're not going to be able to be consistent day in and day out to build and compound your opportunities. Without energy, without clarity, without focus, money cannot stick to you. It doesn't cling to you. It leaves you. If you are emotionally drained, you're going to drain it as well because you're not going to have the energy and the consistency to stick with it for a long time. Take care of your body because you only get one. And money flows where your energy goes. If your energy is drained, opportunities will pass you by. But when you're vibrant and alive, money feels like it finds you. So something that you want to be thinking about. I think about this so frequently when I meet someone and they have a positive attitude, energy, and effort. When they can look you in the eyes with clear energy and they don't look drained or lost or overwhelmed, and they show up with a kind, generous heart. Man, I want to be around that person. It's energy that's infectious. You want to be around people that are positive. And so if you are drained, if you're overwhelmed, if you're stressed constantly, I'm not saying we're not going to have challenging days or moments here and there, but if you don't know how to take care of your energy, you're not going to create opportunities for yourself. You're going to feel like the world is against you. You're going to feel like people aren't helping you enough and trying to give you something. You've got to take care of you first. You've got to be the one who says, I'm going to do the small habits on a daily basis that support my health. And when I ignored my health, I thought working harder would bring me a lot more money. I ignored my health in my mid to late 20s. And all I did was just grind, hustle, stay up late, 2, 3, 4 a.m., just working on the computer, trying to figure out how to make money, figure out how to learn more skills. But I wasn't taking care of my health. I was gaining a ton of weight. I was exhausted. I was eating all the wrong foods just to try to get a little bit of energy for the next 30 minutes. Then I would crash. And I felt like I was burning out. I truly felt like I was burning out. I remember the moment where my underwear didn't fit me. And like the underwear folded over itself, like the seams of the underwear, like the elastic had folded over. And it was just like, what is going on? I was this elite athlete a few years prior, and now I'm just eating pizza and ice cream all day long and donuts, whatever I could eat just for like some quick, cheap energy. And all of a sudden, like my body starts transforming in a negative way. And I was exhausted. And I remember saying, okay, I need a reset. I need to reset my values. I need to reset my vision for my health and my energy, because this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And if you're living this way right now, where you feel like, I've just put on a few pounds here and there, a few pounds here and there every month, every 6 months turns into 30 pounds a year. You compound that yearly, 5-10 years, you're not going to be able to walk. You're going to have no energy. You're going to have no enthusiasm. And you need that energy. You need that fuel to allow you to pursue the things that you want. You need that attention. And a lack of energy is going to give you a lack of attention. So I made a lot of poor decisions, and I missed opportunities, and I took bad opportunities because they felt like easier opportunities that were going to work quicker, as opposed to creating a clear vision and being in alignment with my values for my vision. So I had to learn the hard way in my mid to late 20s, and my health paid for it. My finances paid for it. Made a lot of financial mistakes in the process. But once I made morning exercise a clear vision in my life, everything changed. My mind sharpened, my health sharpened, my energy got better, ideas flowed to me, my confidence soared, and opportunities started suddenly falling into my lap over and over again. It's almost like you get too many opportunities. There's a new problem. You have to learn how to say no to the things that don't serve your vision now. Because when you have all these opportunities coming in, you don't have the time and energy to say yes to them all. And when you're clear on your vision and your values, you can only bring in things that make sense based to the alignment of your vision and your values. But money started showing up almost effortlessly. It was like, boom, it started skyrocketing. And I was just like, wow, how is this even possible? It literally kind of broke my mind, because for most of my life, I didn't understand money. I didn't know how to make it. I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't understand the language of money. It seemed extremely terrifying and scary for me because I just didn't understand it. And I didn't know how to, again, make it. I didn't know how to, if I had any, I just spent it. I didn't know how to invest it. I was kind of scared of it. But as I started to make more money, it was like, wow, how is this even possible? It broke my mind because of how many years I was afraid of it. I didn't understand it, and I didn't know how to make it. So when it started coming to me, I go, wow, can it really be this simple? Now, I spent years learning skills, mastering skills, overcoming fears, building relationships, traveling around the country, going to networking events, conferences, meeting the right people to allow for these opportunities to show up. So I spent the time, the energy, the reps, the mistakes, kind of investing in the roots for money to start to grow on my, I guess, financial tree. But once it started to hit, I was like, wow, this is really powerful. This is really inspiring. And again, I talk a lot about this in my book, Make Money Easy, because for most of my life, I was terrified. I had a bad relationship with money. And this book breaks down the psychology and the emotional relationship on how to have a healthier, abundant relationship with money instead of a scarcity relationship with money. Most money books talk about investing or sales or things like that, or business. That's not what this is. This is about your personal relationship with money. Make sure you guys get a copy right now. We'll have it linked as well below. But this is all about identifying your money style, your money values, your money vision, and making sure that you develop a money mindset to show up powerfully with your relationship with money. Make sure you guys check out Make Money Easy. It's all about creating financial freedom in your life. So money started showing up almost effortlessly. It was just like, how is this even happening? Now, I put in the years of work to make it happen, but it was like I started to have the energy to receive it. Because when I was just grinding and hustling, staying up late, working nonstop, I wasn't able to receive the money. It was like every dollar was like a grind, it felt like. Then I started to make these shifts. I started to clean my bed in the morning and clean my room and make my bed. I started to work out in the mornings first so I could have a clear mind and feel like I was cleansing my body. These first couple things started to make me feel like, oh, I can see clearer. I have better energy. I can receive more now. And I can feel worthy and deserving of receiving it. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel worthy and deserving of receiving money? Because if you don't, if you feel shame, if you feel guilt, if you feel unworthy of receiving more, then you've got to do the inner work to ask yourself, why do I lack the self-worth to be able to receive more worth? Why do I lack the self-worth to be able to receive more? And that may come from your past or shame or guilt you have around things you've done or things you didn't do or things people did to you or said to you. It might be tied in psychologically to a number of things, a number of memories from your past. And that's partly what was blocking me, was my mindset around money. And I didn't feel worthy or deserving to receive more. And if you don't feel like you're worthy of receiving love, why would love come into your life? If you don't feel worthy of receiving money, why would more financial opportunities come to your life? You're probably going to block it. You're probably going to say, no, you want it, but then you're saying, but I'm really not deserving of this. You'll either say that or you'll either do it energetically, or you'll block it, or you'll sabotage it, or you'll make a poor decision to go back to a state where you feel more comfortable with the type of money you're receiving. This is why you hear the story of almost every lottery winner loses their money within the first year or two. A lot of them commit suicide within the first few years because they don't feel like they were worthy or deserving to receive it. So they spend it all. They don't know how to invest it. They blow it. And then they feel this shame tied to losing all of their money, this amazing opportunity where they got to win this money. And they feel the shame of it. So a lot of bad things can happen for those if they don't create the internal structure to receive more money. So here's a couple action steps for you. I want you to move your body every morning for at least 10 to 20 minutes. I like to do, I'm training for elite athletics, so I've got my intense workout routine. I'm lifting, I'm running, I'm doing a lot of different stuff in the morning. You don't need to do that. You can do 10 to 20 minutes of just stretching, of walking, of jogging, of yoga, of some air squats. You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need to spend money on equipment. You can do 100 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 100 air squats, a couple of crunches. You can stretch. You can just swing your arms around for all I care. Move your body so you can move the energy throughout your body to feel more clear, to feel more alive. It doesn't have to be some extreme, crazy HIIT workout where you're dying on the floor from working out every morning, but exercise will allow you to visualize abundance flowing into your life and allow you to move any type of stuck energy in your mind or your body that's blocking you from feeling more free. Treat exercise as a wealth ritual, not just a health ritual. And if you think of it that way, okay, the more I move, the more I'm allowing the opportunity for money to come into my life. If you think it that way, because some people say, I don't want to work out because it's just too much work and I have to always focus on my health and it's exhausting. But if you want to tie it to more of financial opportunities, say, okay, I move so I can create more financial opportunities in my life. And again, I'm not saying you've got to look perfect and have a six-pack and have a lot of muscle. That's not what I'm saying. Just move your body. We're designed to move. We're not meant to sit all day. We're designed to move. So allow your body to flow so financial opportunities can flow through you as well. So energy creates wealth. That is lesson number 2. Lesson number 3, intention is the blueprint of wealth. So plan your day and plan your money. Not planning your day isn't just lazy. It's giving your wealth away to everyone else's agenda. Ooh, does that sting sometimes? A lesson around this is what you don't plan, you surrender. If you don't set your intentions in the morning, your day and your finances get hijacked by others. So we talk about this a lot on this channel, on this podcast, is the power of intention. And intention is something that you should be baking in throughout your day. In the morning when you wake up, you should be thinking to yourself or saying aloud, my intention for today is. It's that simple. My intention for today is. You don't have to say it to someone, but you can, because it creates more accountability and allows them to see if you're actually showing up and being true to your word. But when you think, my intention is, throughout the day, it's powerful. Before I get into my workout in the morning, I set an intention. Even if I'm tired or I'm exhausted or I'm like sore from the day before, I set my intention. My intention is to bring energy and give my best workout. Boom. That's all I got to do. Quick moment. When I head into the office, I try to set an intention. Okay, before I enter the door, I set an intention. I say, I'm going to bring joy. I'm going to smile. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to have fun. Whatever it might be, my intention for today is. If we've got a big guest or a big interview that I've got on the show, I set an intention before the guest gets here of what I want to create. I ask the guest a lot of times, sitting right across me, I say, what is your intention for today? What is your intention for what you want to get out of this interview? I'm asking them so I can hear their intention and make sure I deliver on what they want as well. We've got a big event coming up, Summit of Greatness. Before I go on stage and thousands of people are right in front of me, I say, what is my intention? My intention is to add value, is to serve, is to bring joy, is to bring loving energy to the environment. Whatever it might be, I set my intention. When I'm writing my book, when I sit down, I say, what's my intention? What's the energy I want people to feel when they read the book? And I try to use that intention when I'm writing the content in anything. So you got to be thinking about intention. If you don't set your intentions in the morning for your day, your finances, they'll get hijacked by other people. And you don't want that to happen. The best way to predict your future is to create it, said Abraham Lincoln. And if you don't design your mornings, you're designing your excuses. Wealth doesn't just show up. You create it with intentional action. Ooh, you're designing your excuses if you don't design your mornings with intention. I've shared part of this already, but I used to wake up and let my phone dictate my life, scrolling through emails, checking social media, reacting to everyone else's agenda. And that is just a reaction mode. That is not saying I am clear on what I want to do this morning. I'm clear on what I want to do this day. I'm clear on what I want to use this time, as opposed to just being in reaction mode to everyone else's agenda. But once I started writing down my top 3 goals for every morning, my top 3 intentions for the day, everything else started to change. Again, opportunities started to flow and you feel clearer about your life. It's important. You are leading your life rather than reacting to life when you do this. And it's just important to be building your own race around your own goals rather than reacting to what everyone else throws your way. So a couple of action steps for you. Each morning, I want you again to write down 3 things that are the biggest things that you need to do today that will support you in moving towards your big goal. And again, if you don't know what your goals are, if you don't know what your values are, if you don't know what your meaningful mission is, then you've got to get this book, Make Money Easy, which will give you all the exercises, all the research, all the knowledge and the tools you need to get clear on your money mission, on your mission as a human being, on your goals for this season of life. Because you've got to get clarity first. Then each morning when you have your 3 big action priorities, that will support you getting closer to your goals. But if you're not clear on your goals, at least for this season of life, then you're just going to be reacting to life. And that's going to make you feel like you're not creating abundance. And ask yourself in the morning, if I accomplish only 3 things today, will I get closer to the goals that I'm looking to create, to more freedom around accomplishing those goals? And make sure you protect those priorities like your life depends on it, because your dream life does. And if you say, these are my 3 priorities, but you don't do any of them, and you just react to other stuff, then you're pushing down the line your goals. You're just extending them farther and farther away from you as opposed to drawing them closer to you. And if you only focused on those few key things every day, the real big things, the things that we resist, the things that are harder, the things that take more time and attention and focus, if you just did those 3 big things, then you can have that extra time to react to other stuff in life as well, and all will be okay. But just using your attention and your intention is the blueprint of wealth. And that is lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, gratitude unlocks abundance. Thank your way to wealth. Now, Lewis, what does this mean? Thank your way to wealth. This sounds woo-woo. This sounds fluffy. This sounds, lame. What are we talking about here? Gratitude and generosity are the gateway to abundance. Let me say it louder for the people in the back. Gratitude and generosity are the gateway to abundance. When you live with gratitude in your heart and you express gratitude and you are also a generous human being, you create incredible opportunities for your life. It just starts flowing. I don't know why, but gratitude unlocks something inside of you that makes you feel more appreciative of your life. Even when things are challenging, even when things are hard, even when things aren't going your way, if you can find 1 or 2 things to be grateful for in your life, it makes your heart expand. And when your heart expands, you can see and scan and see opportunities in your life. You can appreciate people. You can smell the flowers literally and just be grateful for that moment. Gratitude expands your heart. When you expand your heart, you're creating abundance. And when you're generous with your energy, with your time, with your talents, with whatever you have to give to another person, to a community, to your team, to someone in your life, when you're generous, generosity creates opportunities as well. It is just the way of life. Gratitude and generosity are the gateway to abundance. The more you live in those energetic states, the way of being of gratitude, and the more you're generous with people, just by smiling, by saying hello, by asking a question, that's generosity. You don't have to give away all your money and be poor on the streets. It's about just doing the small little things that we're talking about here that are going to make massive big changes. Gratitude flips your brain from scarcity to abundance. And when you feel wealthy inside of your heart, wealth outside comes to meet you as well. This is huge. I cannot emphasize this enough. A lot of my luck and success in life has come from being a grateful person and a generous giver. That's it. Because I'm not the smartest, I'm not the most talented, I don't have the most skills, but I have been consistently grateful for so much. It doesn't mean I'm perfect every day. Some days I'm ungrateful, and then I feel frustrated and I feel blocked. But most of the time I'm grateful, and most of the time I try to be as generous as I can, while also not overextending myself, hurting my health in the process, hurting my sleep in the process. We've got to learn to have boundaries for ourselves as well, so we don't just give to everyone else and never give to us. That's not what I'm saying. But living in a state of gratitude and generosity is just what has allowed me to flourish, not only financially or my business, but just in my personal being. I just feel better in that process. And again, I am a human being who is a flawed human being, just like all of us. So I don't have perfect days every single day, and that's not what we're striving for. It's more setting an intention. I want to be more grateful. I want to be more generous. And today, I'm going to be that. And in this next hour, I'm going to be that. It's just setting that intention and doing our best to live up to it. But we start the day with gratitude. Everything else gets better in the day. So this is something that me and my wife, Martha, do. We talk about gratitude. 3 things at night. Wake up in the morning, we say, thank you for another day, God. What a blessing to wake up and have another opportunity at life, to experience our dreams, to experience our relationship, to meet people, to connect, to experience art and wonder and awe and inspiration. Thank you, God, for another day. And at night, man, I'm so grateful for these few things. Even when you're going through a hard time, even when it's not easy, even when everything seems like it's against you, find something to be grateful for. Gratitude literally trained my mind to receive more abundance and feel worthy of receiving more. So a couple action steps for you is each morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small, how big, whatever it might be. In the morning, write it down or say it out loud to someone. I still have this. This has been probably 10 years of my voicemail. When my friends call me, I don't pick the phone up that much. I usually have it on kind of silent mode throughout the day so I can be focused. I'm more of a text guy. But when they call me and they leave a message, my voice message says, I think it's been at least 10 years, maybe 12 years now. My voice message says, thanks for calling. Share with me what you're grateful for first. Then share with me your message and I'll get back to you. I'm trying to evoke gratitude throughout my day with people by just saying, instead of saying, how are you? I say, what are you grateful for? And it just expands people's hearts. You see their energy shift right away. And by asking that question, you're also being generous. So you're doing a 2-for-1 just by asking, what are you grateful for? And you can speak it out loud. I am grateful for this day and the wealth that it brings, the blessing it brings, the opportunities that come to me out of nowhere. I'm grateful for all of it. And when a problem comes to you, you can reframe it. I'm grateful for this challenge. No matter how frustrating this can feel, I'm grateful because it means it's creating a space for me to grow into someone better, a better version of me. It's teaching me a lesson. And as frustrating as this lesson is that I don't want to have right now, I'm grateful that it's going to help me improve when I get through the other side. So end of lesson 4 is gratitude unlocks abundance. If this resonates with you, type a yes below about gratitude and generosity being the gateway to abundance. If that speaks to you, if that resonates, let me know below. Lesson number 5, rest fuels riches. Sleep equals a money multiplier. Now, okay, for most of my teens and 20s, I would hear the saying that you don't need sleep. Sleep is for broke people. You know, I'll rest when I'm dead. All these different things. And I bought into that. I was like, yeah, I'll rest when I'm dead. Sleep is for broke people because they're just lazy and they're just sleeping all day. They're not actually investing in like creating something. And I thought that way for a while. And then I started to interview the world's leading health experts, sleep experts. And I realized, oh man, your brain will not function if you are limiting the amount of sleep. Your body will not heal. Your organs will shut down. Your heart will feel more heightened. It won't feel more restful. And so biologically, when you hurt yourself with less sleep consistently, it actually has a negative impact on your health, which will have a negative impact on your life, not just your money, but your life. Sleeping less won't buy you more time. It will cost you clarity and energy and the wealth you're working for. It's not about how do I maximize every minute and just not sleep at all and then have a heart attack at 40. That's not what life is about. It's about having a loving, beautiful life and having a body that you feel safe in, not a body that you feel unsafe in because you're just trying to push so hard to make more money and not take care of yourself. Because what is having money in the bank if you can't live a life long enough to actually enjoy it and use it for what that money can provide for you? If you have to shorten your life because you don't take care of your health, then that is a scarce life. It's not an abundant life. And I'm not talking about, tragic accidents or tragic health stuff that happens, but I'm talking about stuff you can control. You can control doing your best to set a cutoff time at night to try to go to bed. You can do your best to turn the TV off a couple hours before you sleep so your mind can calm down, to put your phone away. You can do your best to create structure and order in your life to try to get 7-8 hours of sleep a night. And when you learn the science and understand the importance of sleep, again, we've had some of the biggest sleep experts in the world who've come on here to teach us and share all the research. When you have that information, now it's up to you to apply that information. And again, I'm not saying every night's going to be perfect and you're to You're going to be up late sometimes and things happen. And when you have kids, you're waking up through the night. I get all of this stuff. It's not about being perfect with any of these things, but it is about trying to set up structure and some boundaries in your life on the things you can control. You can turn your phone off. You can turn the TV off. You can turn the lights off. You can do certain things to give yourself the best opportunity to get better sleep. Sleep isn't laziness. It's the most overlooked money habit. And you may not be thinking about it because you're saying, well, I need more time so I can work more and make more. But rest repairs your brain. It sharpens your decision making and it magnetizes wealth opportunities. Again, a clear mind creates clearer opportunities, creates better attitude, better energy, better reaction to people. And when you have a cluttered mind or a chaotic mind because you haven't gotten the rest that it needs, you're going to be reactive to people. You're going to be less calm. You're going to be less grateful. You're going to be more grumpy. And that does not attract financial opportunities in your life. This is a quote by Dr. Matthew Walker, one of the leading doctors about sleep and studying the science of sleep. He says, sleep is probably the single most effective thing that you can do to reset both your brain and your body. So if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel stressed, if you feel like you have some mental anxiety in your life, if you feel like you can't pay attention, you might just need a little bit more sleep and quality of sleep every single night. You get a good night's sleep, you always feel better the next day. Again, for me, I used to sleep very little because I thought you should just rest when you're dead. And I would gain weight and I'd be more reactive and I was more angry and I was more upset and I was less grateful and I was less generous. And so I was grinding and I was hustling and I was trying to just prove my worth by working hours and hours and hours into the night. But that just exhausted me. It drained me. It left me feeling unhealthy and unfocused. So a couple action steps for you tonight. Commit to a hard cutoff time for both screens, and I recommend 1 hour minimum before bed. Phone, iPad, TV, video games, whatever it is, 1 hour before bed, shut it all off. And really start to dim the lights. Dim the lights an hour before bed so your mind can start to say, we're going to sleep soon. Let's get ready to relax. Know in the morning what time you will go to bed at night. This is important. So when you wake up in the morning, you want to have a bedtime. Again, we're not kids, unless you're a parent and you have your kid watching this right now. I know a lot of you do because a lot of you will post on social media while your 2-year-old is watching our videos, or your teens are in your car listening to the podcast. But a lot of these things, our parents would give us a bedtime. As adults, I feel like it's important we have a bedtime as well. Again, it doesn't mean on the weekends or certain nights you can stay up and watch a movie and have fun and do whatever if you've got friends over, stuff like that. I'm just saying, the U.S. Navy Admiral talks about these routines, a nighttime routine, a morning routine, how it will support you in accomplishing your goals and living a better, more harmonious life. So listen to your parents. And become the parent to yourself and say, hey, we need a bedtime. Let's go to bed. I don't care if it's, 11 p.m., midnight, whatever your bedtime is. I like to try to go to bed between 9:30 and 10:30. And it's not always perfect, but I try to get bed by 10 p.m. If I can be in bed, it's amazing because I got to wake up early and do my workout. And I know my workouts need me to have more sleep and allow me to recover so I can train harder the next day. That's for me. Treat your bedtime as a sacred as anything for yourself. Make it sacred time for you to relax. And track your money energy. Notice how many profitable ideas or actions show up after a good night's sleep versus a poor night's sleep. And these will start to compound over time. So track your money energy. Again, we talk all about the relationship and the energy you have with money in the book, Make Money Easy. So many people have got this book. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's a book that I wish I had when I was in my teens and my 20s to support me in understanding my relationship with money, having a better identity around money, and all these different tools we talk about. This is the book I wish I had. Make sure you grab a copy so you can go through it and create financial freedom and live a richer life for yourself. That's the end of number 5. Rest fuels riches. And the final lesson of this video is accountability creates acceleration. Partners equal profit. Making money gets a lot easier when you stop trying to do it all yourself. Accountability collapses time. It fast tracks results. I love having accountability in every area of my life. It allows me to create more structure. It allows me to make sure that my goals come to me quicker. It makes sure that I have to be a better human being with everything in my life. When you pay for your accountability, whether it be a coach, a trainer, or a mentor, you start to collapse time and wealth starts to accelerate. Accountability simply forces consistency. It forces you to actually do what you say you're going to do, which compounds into results. So you can either not have accountability and have like extreme mental willpower and just you hold yourself accountable. That's great. If you can do that, awesome. And maybe you can do that for a long period of time. But for me, I want to create structure and practices that support my growth, that support my ability to accelerate things. And I'm very disciplined. I have a lot of willpower. I have a lot of mental strength where I can hold myself accountable on many things. And I do. But I also have accountability in place. I also have a coach that trains me in my workouts. I've got accountability with my team. I've got my wife who's an accountability partner in our relationship. Like I've got different accountability in different areas of my life. And here's a quote. It says, accountability is key. And if I pay for a trainer or a coach, I show up every time. And my friend, Dean Graziosi says, you pay attention to what you pay for. And the more you pay, typically, the more you pay attention to that thing. And that's why, I talk about having a coach and paying for a coach or being a part of a mastermind where you pay and it forces you to show up and pay attention, to learn something, to try to accelerate your results. That's the key. You can do a lot of great things on your own, but you can do greater things with coaches and with accountability. And I think it's just as important to be accountable with your money, whether that's finding tools to hold you accountable, whether that's automating things for yourself and saying, I'm going to automatically put away a certain amount of money every single month into an investment account that's just going to come out. It's finding the accountability that works for you. The external accountability that kept me consistent in the habits that built my success, discipline, energy, and action, those things supported me the most. And the truth is, when I invest in accountability, my results and my income, they all start to multiply. So this is the key. Hold yourself accountable and also add more accountability in your life. I think about the Navy Admiral, the U.S. Navy Admiral. It's like his life is accountability. And there is structure and there's order and there are different people that he has to support and serve, the people that depend on him, that he depends on other people in the Navy. Like there's structure built in, which makes a lot of these individuals just incredible at getting things done and being efficient. It's not because they have all the time in the world to do whatever they want at any moment. They've got structure, they've got order, they've got consequences if they're not being held accountable. So some action steps for you is to find an accountability partner for your mornings. This can be a friend that you're going to be accountable for on one goal they have in this season of life, and they're going to be accountable for you as well. If you don't have the money to pay a coach or a mentor, that's fine. Find a friend that you can both be accountable for. Someone that you will text every morning and say, what are the 3 big things you're doing today to complete? And you share the same thing. And then at the end of the day, all you have to do is text done after you complete it. Whether it's your morning routine or the 3 big things for the day you want to complete. Just text done. That's it. All you have to do is do that. And then at the end of the week, you can do one quick check-in with the friend as well and say, hey, what was the biggest challenge you had? And did you complete everything? Awesome. You're one step closer to accomplishing your goal. And if it's possible, I like paying for coaching and mentorship. For me, if it's just someone that you don't pay, like if you find the right person, you might be able to hold each other accountable for a season of life. But when I pay for someone's time, they've got to show up and bring their best, and so do I. And I pay more attention to what I pay for. When money is invested in something, usually the commitment skyrockets. Again, you pay attention to what you pay for. So make sure to find something to pay attention to. And the next thing would be to really just create a checklist with this accountability person, and you can even keep score. Hey, did we each complete these 3 things every single day? And at the end of the week, you can make it a competition. Okay, I missed 3 things throughout the week, and the other person got them all done. So you can have a little game. You can say, okay, $5 a week, whoever wins on how much we were able to complete, that other person's going to get that $5, whoever wins. Whatever it might be, something that keeps it interesting for you to stay on top of your goals and stay accountable. That is lesson number 6, that accountability creates acceleration in your life. And these are the 6 key lessons that I want you to have today. I want you to apply these things. It starts with the smallest wins, because making your bed won't make you rich, but the discipline it builds with will. And it continues with your energy, because ignoring your health won't save you time. It'll cost you twice in your body and in your bank account, my friend. It's about setting intention, because if you don't plan your day, you're handing your wealth over to someone else's agenda. It's also about rest, because sleeping less doesn't make you stronger. It steals the clarity and energy you need to succeed. It's also about the gratitude in our life, because being ungrateful doesn't toughen you up. It builds you to the opportunities already waiting for you. It's about being grateful, not being ungrateful. And finally, it's about accountability, because free advice won't change your life, but investing in accountability will collapse time and multiply your results. Again, these aren't just morning habits. They're wealth habits. Simple enough to start right now and the next morning when you wake up, and stay consistent with it, because powerful energy is the key to a powerful life. Powerful enough to change everything in your life. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one of these things, at least one. Commit to it and let it build momentum in your life, because simplicity scales, consistency compounds. And when you start to stack these habits, the results will feel almost illegal in how fast they show up in your life. And if this spoke to you in any way, make sure to leave a comment below with the one habit you are choosing to commit to tomorrow. At least one. If you can do all 6, great, but start with one. Comment below what you're choosing to commit to, and let's keep each other accountable on the journey of greatness. If this has added value to you, again, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel right now, grab a copy of Make Money Easy. This will continue to be your guide on your richer life journey. Make sure to get this. It'll help you create a better relationship with money. And again, we have another video right here that I want you to watch next. That's going to be very inspiring for you. It's all about the things you can do each morning for 7 days. Because when I started to do these things, I was shocked what happened next. So make sure to check out this video next as well. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. Gratitude and generosity are the gateway to abundance. And if no one's told you lately, I want to remind you that you are loved, you are worthy, and you matter, my friend. I'll see you next time. What if I told you productivity isn't about doing more? It's about knowing what actually matters most. In fact, when you master these frameworks that I'm about to share with you, productivity feels almost unfair, like cheating in a sense.